Alright, what is going on, guys? Today I want to talk about the issue that I was having with my car. If you remember, about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I put a video up saying I was having an issue with my power door locks. Couldn't figure out what it is. We checked all the fuses. I'm sorry for the wind. If you look, the trees, they're not like even really blowing, maybe a little tiny bit, but the wind noise always just comes up horrendous. So if there's a little bit of wind noise, I am sorry, I apologize. But, like, okay, I'll come inside the car. We went through everything. We checked the wires. We tried to check some of the wires. Checked the fuses, the inside fuse box here, and also the outside fuse box. We checked everything we could. Couldn't really come up with, you know, why my door lock stopped working. Now, if you remember, I also said I had replaced my switch. I went to the junkyard and I got a window switch for both sides. I got a passenger side and a driver. Thinking, actually, in fact, here's my old switch right here. Thinking that my switch might be bad. We changed that. Still nothing. Still was not working. So at that point, we figured it can't be the switch. We're kind of out of ideas. So I bring it to the shop. They look at it. Actually, for the first week I was there, they didn't look at it because they were so busy. But they look at it the second week, and they're looking at it. They're checking things out. They're looking, and for the life of them, they cannot figure out what the issue is with my power door locks. They went through everything. I mean, they took the door panel off, checked all the wires in here. They checked the wire in here, see if they were crunched. They literally went through everything to check the wiring on my car and why my why my power door locks were not working. I get a call. A whole other week goes by. The car was literally there for about 3 weeks. I get a call. And this is me calling them too, periodically. I'll call them every other day, every 2 days. I give them a call. Hey, how you guys making out? Yada, yada, whatever. So eventually they call me and said, your car's all fixed, you can come pick it up. So I was like, all right, cool, great. Like, what'd you guys come up with? Because last time I talked to you, you guys couldn't seem to figure it out. Lo and behold, it was my switch the whole entire time. As you can see, they work perfectly fine now. What had happened is the switch that I got from the junkyard was bad. How a window switch was bad, I will never know. Like, the odds of a switch going bad seems pretty rare to me. I don't feel like it's really that common of a problem. I'm sure they do fail. But the odds of having one fail in a car and going to the junkyard and the same exact part has failed and a part that's not really that common to fail, I don't know. That just seemed kind of crazy to me. Now, I didn't pay for the switch at the junkyard. I got it for free. So I was like, oh, whatever, not a big deal. That the switch didn't work when I put the new one in. But it kind of sucks because I had to pay a shop to end up looking at everything, thinking that the switch that I had, the junkyard one that I got for free, was going to save me money. But in reality, it ended up not saving me money because all the time that they put into the car, looking at it, tracing wires, I ended up paying in like $200, which actually, I'm not gonna lie, isn't that bad considering they looked at it for like 2 weeks, like a week and a half. Maybe not consistently, like not every single hour every day. There may have been a day where they didn't look at it, or they only spent 3 hours on it, whatever. But I'm trying to block the wind out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, a free switch ended up really becoming a $200 switch. So instead of me just buying a new switch, testing it out, I tried going the cheap route, and I guess it kind of screwed me. So I don't know. I kind of wanted to make this is a video mainly telling you what's wrong with my car. Ended up being my window switch, but I also want to add in here too. Be careful what parts you do and don't get at the junkyard, because you may end up thinking, oh, it's awesome, I'm getting myself a free part here, or a part that's like way cheaper than online or even at a store or whatever, and then you go to use it and it's defective or it doesn't last that, that much longer. There's some parts from the junkyard that are good to get, and there's some that just aren't good to get. Now, for the most part, I don't get parts at the junkyard. It's not really something that I typically do. I'll usually get like interior pieces at the junkyard. Like my door switch panel, how it's all broken. I keep trying to find one at the junkyard. This light panel here, which has cracked and doesn't look that great, it was still better than not having one at all. So, I took this from the junkyard. Just interior pieces. I don't know what else I got from the junkyard. I have gotten a few things from this car from the junkyard, and it's been fine. Hoses. I don't have the blue hoses on here. I pulled them off another car, but I have the blue silicone hoses in a box that I was going to throw on here when I flushed my coolant. I haven't had to flush my coolant because it's, 80,000 miles or whatever it is, so I still have plenty of miles to go before I have to flush my coolant. And I don't feel like changing my hoses out and flushing my coolant out if I don't have to. So, it's sometimes going to the junkyard trying to save money can actually end up costing you more money. Just something to kind of keep in mind. I mean, at $200 is not the end of the world. It's not like I bought a junkyard motor for $500, and then I drove for 1,000 miles and it blew up, and then I had to spend another $5,000 for a new motor and about $500 or something. It's not the end of the world, but it's a little annoying. Like, I don't know, just the fact that the window switch that I had was actually, the one that I got from the junkyard was defective. Now you're probably like, oh, well, did the car you look at, was the window open? Did it get rained on? Or the car that I looked at, that I got the window switch from, it was like this. The window was closed, door closed, everything was sealed up, nothing was wet. Okay, so unless it had previously gotten water damage or whatever, I don't know. But when I went to the yard that day, looking at a window switch, looking for parts, it was bone dry in the car. So I must have had a defective one. I guess the guy didn't care about locking his doors, because the car wasn't locked when I look at it. I mean, the car is unlocked, but usually cars at the junkyard are unlocked anyway. But I don't know. I mean, that's what ended up happening to me. That's kind of my story. Quick little story here. So in case your power door locks are not working, and you're thinking about replacing your switch, which I would do because they're actually not that expensive. I think they're like 15-20 bucks. I'll be honest, I don't know how much they are. I didn't really look into them. I just figured I'd get one for free, so I don't really care. But I'm sure they're cheap. I'm sure they're probably, I'd say $15 to $40. If you're any more than $40, then you're probably better off just taking your chances at the junkyard, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, for the price of a new switch, it's worth just trying that out to see if it'll fix it. First thing you do is obviously check your fuses. Fuses are cheap. Now those are good to get from the junkyard because you can tell a fuse is bad by looking at it. I've gotten plenty of fuses from the junkyard and relays and stuff. You get that all for free. But yeah, I don't know, guys. In case you're having problems with your power door locks, now the issue I had was lock and unlock would not work, and then on this side lock would not work but unlock would. So in case you're having an issue somewhat similar to that, check your fuses. Doesn't do anything. Check your switch, because that's what my problem was. And like I said, if you are going to buy, a new switch for it, try to get yourself a quality one. Or even if you do end up going to the junkyard, get multiple switches, get 2 or 3 of them just to double check, because I only grabbed one. So I guess I probably still could have used a junkyard switch if I had bought, multiple switches. But it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. My doors, they lock and unlock now. That's all I really care about. There's times where I go into some areas, I like to have my car locked. I like to keep my car locked, all the time. But there's some areas where when you're really in an area, it's like I need to have my door locked. So that was definitely something that needed to get fixed. But I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say. Just, be careful what parts you get at the junkyard, because otherwise you may end up being like me and a $15 switch you could have got, a switch you could have got for $15. I'm at like 200 bucks now. But whatever, it is what it is, not the end of the world. I liked it. Every time I look at this car, it's still, I missed it a lot. I'll tell you what, I really missed this car a lot. When I finally got it back, it was really great to drive it again. You have no clue what it was like to drive this car again after not driving it for like 3 weeks and driving around my Jeep. I'll tell you what, it was, wow. I miss this car a lot, I'll tell you. It'd be really hard to sell this car. I don't know, it'd be hard pressed to sell it. But I don't know, that's it. I'm done. See you guys later. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.